Hey guys, hey guys, I'm Corey Caston, and basically I'm going to tell my story here. This is a true story. It's going on right now, and I've got my little iPad here with my notes, and just so I keep on track. But I'm going to share this story on our page, but I'd like to just kind of get it out and just tell it for you. And it's a true story. It's happening right now, and I'm going to bring you up to speed. So previously on Big Love for Health. My family has a history of cancer. My mother passed away of stomach cancer at 49 years old, right after I was out in the Marines, maybe 22 years old. And then my father passed away from complications of prostate cancer at 62. I was about 30 years old at that time, and I always thought my father died at 62, and my grandfather died at 62, also from a stroke. So I always thought 62 would be my number. But at 38, in 2010, right when our daughter Zoe was being born, I had some blood in my urine, went to the doctor, and the day that Zoe was born, I found out that I had stage 3 kidney cancer, and we scheduled a surgery right away, and so our daughter was born, we came home, taking care of the baby, and then I'm going in the hospital to have my kidney pulled out. We went in, the surgery went fine. Had 2 great surgeons working on me, and everything went great. Kidney was removed, and then they wanted to biopsy my prostate because of my family history, and they noticed in 1 of 16 areas it was positive. So 6 months later, after I had my kidney removed, we scheduled another surgery to have my prostate removed, just so we didn't have any complications down the road. I was in full agreement with that. That was a horrible surgery, by the way. The kidney was rough, but the prostate was worse. And I saw my dad go through it. It was rough, and yeah, it's tough. Fighting cancer is very, very tough, and I'm gonna give you more details on that. So surgeries alone are just painful. So you get your kidney removed, get your prostate removed. You're cancer-free, says, they can't find any in there. They can't see anything, of course. So we continue on with CT scan, chest x-rays, alternating every 6 months for 5 years. So we're at 2015 now, and we've had no reoccurrence, and everything's doing great. And I brought up to my oncologist, I go, well, we should have seen something by now, shouldn't we? And this was January 2015. And he goes, well, actually, there's some scar tissue we see on the scan. Remember that when they say they see scar tissue, that is a lesion, and it's growing. And would you keep an eye on that, because it could be anything. I get it, I get what they're saying, but not for me. Those scar tissues has always been a previous tumor. So January 2015, we've got some scar tissue. 6 months later, we do another chest x-ray. Got 3 lesions here in my lungs and 1 on my left lung here on my lymph node. So now they got something to work with. They've got a cancer patient, recurred. And this was June 2015, and then the cancer's back. We got to start fighting cancer. So right away I started digging into research. What has anybody done to ever fight cancer and win? So I started arming myself, and right at that time came, I got a wellness tutor, and I watched The Truth About Cancer, a Global Quest, and then ChrisBeatCancer.com. Great resource, and of course David Wolf. I'm going through a nutrition course through him right now, because researching Google is great, but I need some real training. So I'm becoming a nutritionist. I'm almost finished with that. So I had to start there right away. Sorry guys, there's a lot going on. Oh, so it's back, and it's time to find my inspiration, my motivation, get in touch with the church again, because I've been out of the church since the Marines. So I needed that little extra push, and my mother-in-law. This is a good story. My mother-in-law and my wife and my mother-in-law's 2 friends went to a church out past Six Flags to see Father Mark, and he has a small church there. He lives off the grid, goats and solar panels and chickens and all kinds of really neat, not a fancy church. So we go there, and we were late because I'm with all these women. So we missed the entire mass, but we got there at the very end. There were 2 people that came over, they knew, and they started praying over me, and they asked what they felt, and they felt that I was being kind of shut off to the church and closed in, which I was, because this was all very new. And they were very nice, and then they left, and then Father Mark came over, And I shook his hand, really nice guy, really warm feeling, you know. And he goes, "Do you mind if I pray for you?" I go, "Not at all." So he put his hand on my forehead, and he started to pray. And you know, I'm hearing him praying, and he's taking a long time, about a minute. And slowly, as his hand's on my forehead, it starts to warm up, and it starts to get hot. And it starts to get really hot. And right now, my hand's not hot. I don't know how he's doing this. It's driving me crazy, you know. And so he took his hand off. He goes, "Did you feel that?" I go, "Yes." He goes, "Did you feel that heat?" I go, "Yes. I want to do it again." The guy doesn't go to church, right? "I want to do it again." He goes, "That was the Holy Spirit entering your body." I get goosebumps every time I tell that story, because this is a guy that watches Ancient Aliens all the time, right? And here I am, goosebumps, because I felt it. It didn't matter what I thought, it's what I felt. And I knew there was more, and that felt great. And we did continue on. So we finished up in the church. We went next door to his house, and I sat down, and Kate's right next to me, and her mother-in-law's over here, and their two mother-in-law's friends are over here, and Father Mark's sitting there. And they asked him, you know, "Do you see anything? Do you feel anything?" And he said he did. He asked me if I had Slavic family, and I said yes. You know, my dad's side of the family is Slavic. And he's asked if we called my dad Pawpaw. I said, yes, we do call him Pawpaw, Popsy and Pops. I asked him why. He goes, "Because he's standing right to your side, right to my left." He was standing there. Father Mark, through his friends his whole life, have known him to be a medium, to be able to see shadowy images, not faces of a specific person, but just their spirit, right there, a shadowy dark image. And he saw my dad to my side. And while he was there talking to us, the ladies were trying to ask him, "What do you see? Do you feel anything?" And he was so quiet. And I was like, "What are we here for?" And he's nervous. And he's going like this, back and forth, and his hands are doing this. And I'm just wondering, what's he doing? You know, what is he doing? And, sorry guys. Winnie, quiet. So he's warming up his hands, and he's very quiet. And the reason he was so quiet is because he said usually that the shadowy images will come and then they'll go away. But my dad's came and it stayed the entire time. We spoke for about a half hour and it never left. So he's constantly nervous because my dad's over there watching him going, "You better take care of my son." Because my dad got very religious and he helped me at the end when he was going through a lot. So this is definitely something I needed. And so now I've got my inspiration. All right. It's time to go into the hospital and start our treatment. Go to the doctor at SLU. Interleukin-2 is the only treatment that will work for me. It's the one that he'll do for his son. The office visits is full of fear. And so we do another scan before the treatment, and nothing grew. From the time of June to August, the cancer completely stayed the same. Nothing was growing. So changing my lifestyle, the superfoods, super herbs, super waters, cutting out alcohol, cutting out red meat, completely stopped the soft tissue growth of my cancer in my lungs. It stopped it there. And then after that, we said, well, okay, let's try some treatments, you know, Western medicine can't rule it out. So we go to SLU. It's the only treatment for kidney cancer. Chemotherapy, radiation don't work on it. It's the only treatment. It's immunotherapy. It's been around for 16 years. It's called the magic bullet when it works, but it only works for like 1 in 13, 15 people. And being healthy and strong and having stopped my cancer, I thought that I'd have the best chance of this. So we signed up for it, and you go into the hospital. You go in the hospital for a week, and you get a dose of Superflu every 8 hours for that week. And it's right above the ICU because it's so hard on your body. You take an injection through your port. Then you get the shakes for about an hour, uncontrollable. And you get Demerol to stop the shakes. Then you get a fever. Then you get body aches. You get a vomiting. You get diarrhea. And then you start to feel a little bit better. And then you do it all again, every 8 hours for the whole week. And then you go home with about 50 pounds of water weight because they're trying to saturate your body cells, trying to flood the cells out and saturate them with this medicine to get your immune system to fight the cancer. I get it when it works, but this doesn't work that often, obviously. So I come home for the first week, and I've got 50 pounds of water weight on me. And then we go back into the hospital, after the water weight goes away, and then you do it again, and you take another 14 doses that week, and then you come home, and that's 28 doses, and then you wait a month, and you do it all again. I took them all. I took almost all. I took 51 of 56 doses. It's the most they've ever seen. I took all 3 weeks, never stopped. You only have to take 9 a week to be effective, but I wanted all 14, making this, it's gonna work, I'm healthy, let's do it, let's take all the medicine we can to kill this cancer for my family. I have to be there for my family. So I didn't want to not take any medicine when I was there. And there was times my pulse was 170. There were times they couldn't stop my body from shaking. My kidney, the last good kidney almost failed, and I continued to go and do this horrible treatments because that's all there was, but it's not, and I'm finding that out. So we finished with interleukin-2 treatment, and this was, let's see here, January 2016, 51 of 56 doses were completed. The CT scan showed growth, and it spread. My immune system is fighting off the cancer. It can't fight off this superflu and cancer at the same time. No shit. Okay, sorry. So February 2016, since interleukin-2 is not working, we start on Opdivo. It's like Keytruda, it's the latest immunotherapy. It's supposed to be the latest and the greatest. And I'm really excited about this because my chemist friends told me about it, and it's just been really talked up. So I'm excited about it because there's no side effects. Almost, he gets a little sleepy. That's about it. So I go in every 2 weeks in February, and I'm getting Opdivo, and then I'm coming home. I'm also at that time, I wanted to try just Western medicine and not mess around too much. But since that's not working, I went back to my holistic doctor and I started on the mistletoe injections. So since it's February now, so for about a year now, 3 times a week, I've been injecting mistletoe into my stomach. It's a highly, it's a semi-parasitic plant. It's been used in Europe for since the early 1900s, I believe. And they're doing clinical trials on it right now. As of December 2015, there's a lady who says her cancer was cured on it. So she started a GoFundMe site and is collecting money for the clinical trials on mistletoe. So I started that in February, and since then I started Opdivo and mistletoe, and I've been doing mistletoe for a year now. And every month or two I upgrade I started at C, then D, E, F, and G, and now I'm going to go H. You basically increase the toxicity of the mistletoe, and this will supposed to kill the cancer, so that's what I'm doing also. And good news came from that. We're coming to it. So in March, during the interleukin-2, it spread, everything spread, and it spread to my left hip. It started to eat at the way at the bone. Now, I'm going to tell you about bone lesions and bone tumors and how to feel that. All right, now first you might think it's going to be a pulled muscle or just an ache or a pain. And that's could be what it is, but keep an eye on it, because if it lasts more than 2 weeks, it's not a pulled muscle. If it lasts longer than that, it's not a pinched nerve. It's cancer. You're a cancer patient. It's a lesion eating in your bone. I did 14 to 15, so now I've got the cancer eating away on my hip. They decided to do radiation on it, of course. So we did 14 doses of 15 radiation, and then it broke. So I was walking in a parking lot, and it just took a step and kind of slid, and it snapped, and the top of my pelvic bone broke. It's the first time I broke a bone, but you'll know when it breaks. And then I almost drove myself to the hospital, but I called an ambulance and went home for 3 months while that healed, because there was nothing they could do but just let it heal. And it healed, and I went back to, then we had a scan in June after the fracture, and the bone growth started healing. Very cool to see new bone growth where the cancer had eaten away. That the new cells, as healthy living I'm doing, new cells are growing, and the bone was getting stronger, even after radiation. There's something to this healthy living, right? So then we did a scan in June, and Opdivo showed no growth. Everything was going fine, but the back pain started at this time, and this is when I just went back to work. And I went back to work. I felt better with my hips. And I decided, that I was ready for work, but after a month of work, each week I had to go home early because of back pains. And it wasn't from that broken, cracked pelvic bone. It was from the new tumor growing in my spine. This is in June. So in July, we did a CT scan, and Opdivo showed no growth. I'm sorry, that was in June. Got a lot going on. July, after home for a month, the tumor is growing in my back, and August I told the doctor about the pain, and he was so happy. He didn't care about the pain because I had a partial response. The one lesion on my lymph node has started to get smaller and change shape, so they call it a partial response, not remission, but basically this tumor, we're breaking into it, we're tapping into it. Is it Opdivo or is it mistletoe and all this healthy lifestyle that's finally catching up to me? I think Opdivo, the doctor said, can draw out the cancer, can pull out the cancer. And that's exactly what it was doing. It did it on my hip, and then after starting Opdivo, it did it in my spine. We'll get to that. August through October, the pain was dismissed as a pulled muscle, pinched nerve, or a possible rib out due to physical therapy. I requested more imaging. They only did an x-ray. I told them the physical therapist might have cracked a rib. Then I went and saw a chiropractor, and he said I might have a rib out. So he's pushing on my back, but he's pushing right where the tumor is on my spine, because that's where it hurt. And I pointed to the doctor where the pain was, and the doctor said, well, where I was, I couldn't point high enough, I guess, because where I was pointing I wasn't pointing to the lesion. The lesion was a little bit higher than where I was pointing. He should have put them together and noticed that pain is causing the tumor problem, the back pain problem, but he never did. And he tried masking the problem with more pain medicine. He didn't want to fix it. He just wanted to keep masking the pain. And finally, we had to go to get an MRI because the pain was getting so bad. We went to get an MRI, pain management, and that's when we saw this huge tumor growing in the middle of my spine. So we had to go in for thoracic spine surgery from T3 to T8 of my back. There's pictures on my site. They had to go in and knock out all the bone and replace it with a steel bar, cement, cadaver bones, whatever they had, and rebuild me and make me stronger, and that's what they're doing. So November 3rd, I had my thoracic spine surgery. I've been healing from that, and then in the middle of December, we went back and saw our oncologist, and he freaked out my wife and the nurse and told them, they got to get me on Votrient right now. It's a chemo pill. We got to start it right now. So with my wife crying and me worried about it, we decided to go ahead and give that a shot. So we tried Votrient at Christmas time, and we did. And I wanted to go slow. You're supposed to take 4 pills a day. I took 1 the first day, 2 pills the second day, 3 pills the third day, and 4 pills the fourth day. On the 4th day, it caught up to me, and I started getting hiccups, uncontrollable hiccups for 2 days, night and day, and my body, it just felt like I was getting beat up by Tyson, just getting crushed all over my chest. And so we stopped, of course. And so now there really isn't any medicine out there, any chemo drugs, anything they could suggest. I'm on my own. I have to continue with where I started with this natural healing course because that seems to be what works for me. I'm going to continue with my Facebook site and share with you videos of the things that I'm doing with my superfoods, super herbs, my super waters, and my mistletoe injections, my vitamin C IV. Looking for a place nearby is a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Let's saturate my cells, not in chemo, but in oxygen, and vitamin C, and superfoods, and super herbs, and medicinal mushrooms, and healing medicine that has been around for thousands of years, not just something that you can patent and put on the shelf at Walgreens, and you buy it and you take a pill for your type of cancer and you're cured. It doesn't work that way. You have to attack it from all different sides. And if you just go to your doctor and listen to your doctor, you'll get ran through the system. And they will run you through each department of medicine. They want your money. You got good health care, they're going to send you everywhere. All right? Get healthy on your own. Don't rely on your doctors. Listen to your doctors. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just telling you, you have to do everything else. I'm going to Namaste in Durango, Colorado. They're gonna work with me not only while I'm in St. Louis, but hopefully while I'm there also. While I'm there, they're gonna work with me and here. That is the plan. I just have to get some paperwork to them and get started. And that's my next trip because I'm doing a lot on my own, but I need good help because I don't want this to grow anymore. Can't really do any more radiation in my hips anymore. I haven't any chemotherapy drugs to take, and I don't want them. I just want to be natural, happy, healthy, and living a good life. And that's what I'm going to do. And this here, what I needed before all my before starting everything, when I just got diagnosed and I freaked out, you know, when I start researching, Googling, and what I needed was a place to go and relax. In St. Louis, it offers healing protocols until you're able to research more about the type of cancer and the treatments are available for you. This wellness center would have access to vitamin C IV, mistletoe injections or IV, hyperbaric oxygen chamber, alkalized water, super foods, super herbs, supplements, essential oils, plant-based nutrition, yoga, and meditation. Let's start preparing your body for any treatments or surgeries that you may need, because these surgeries are hard on your body. These treatments are hard. You have to get in the best shape of your life. And my blood pressure, I'm off blood pressure medicine, I'm off cholesterol medicine, I'm off Tramadol, all of that. Once I went to a plant-based diet, my blood pressure is great, my cholesterol is great, everything, my body, I've never been healthier in my life. I've got cancer, but I'm not sick. Life. It ain't how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. And I'm going to win. For my family, for my friends, for my big love, for my kid. I love you so much, baby. Life. It's a beautiful thing. I hate to ruin the story, but there's a happy ending.